Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. And believe it or not, for the 2020-2021 school year, this is our last gating committee meeting for the year. So we'll get right to it. You should have received information in preparation for the meeting, and we will provide some highlights for anybody that's tuning in today. So they have that in any discussion that this group wishes to have. So we're going to start right off with our gating criteria considerations.
Yes, good afternoon. If you pull up the Sedgwick County matrix, we're looking at weeks 35 and 36. Week 35, we had 2.9%. Week 36, we had 2.8%. So that is an average of 2.85%.
Any discussions or questions on this? Okay. All right, with that being said, then we will pull up the poll to vote where you feel we should be at. All right, looks like with 91%, that does put us in green. Excellent. Let's take a look at community trend.
Yes, again, on the Sedgwick County Health Department matrix, it technically shows that it is increasing. It is such a low number, however, that we felt it was still or that I feel it's still more of a stable or decreasing information. If we look at our student numbers, since our last gating committee, we have had 11 positive cases. Those 11, however, happened last week. We did go about 3 weeks from spring break until the beginning of last week, where we had 0 student cases.
Okay, and staff positive cases for the week of March 29th through April 2nd. We did have 1 positive. For last week, the week of April 5th through 9th, we did not have any staff positives. And up to this point, we do not have notice of any for this week.
All right, any questions or discussions on that? Okay, Latona will pull up the polling. All right, she's going to go ahead and close the point. It looks like we have the majority of individuals that voted, and we have 74% puts it in green. We are on to then community criteria.
All right. So again, looking at weeks 35 and 36, week 35, we had 35.4. And then week 36, we had 34.1, which is a total of 69.5. And then I've already gone over the student trends in this past couple of weeks.
Any additional information or questions that anyone has on that? Okay, if not, Latona will pull up the poll. All right. We haven't had that one. We are split right on that. So on that, unless there's any objection, I would recommend we put that in the middle. Is that good with the group? We are saying we're not in green, we're not in yellow, we're just saying we're kind of right in the middle on that one. It is a split. We'll note that it's 50-50. Any objections, concerns on that? All right, we will put that in the middle between green and yellow. The next one, let's talk about building absenteeism.
Okay, for building absenteeism for students, our data shows that all of our schools are in the green with the exception of Cooper Elementary. And this is the same instance as we saw for them last time. Their attendance this year, which is, for the following year, was trending for the last 2 weeks around 95%. And we're now at about 90.3%. We don't believe that that is necessarily COVID related, but more so our attendance rate not being quite as high as last year. So all of our schools for the attendance are in the green with that one exception.
Thank you
and
very much. Question. Oh, go ahead, Becky.
Okay, for staff absenteeism, we are looking good there as well. We did have one building that was in the orange, that was Derby Hills for the percent of staff present, teaching staff, and then we had Oaklawn in the yellow at 87%. We are doing okay with sub coverage, and those percentages we feel okay about.
Okay. Questions or comments on that? All right, Latona will pull up the poll. We have one more if you wish to vote. There we go. 88% is putting us in green on building absenteeism. Our last category on our gating chart is under hospital.
All right, so if you look at our Sedgwick County COVID dashboard and you go to the hospitalizations, it shows that there are 171 ICU beds being used out of 208. However, only 11 of those are from COVID-19 patients. There's, again, that nice little green check mark. On the KDHE website for South Central Kansas, they are at 36% of ICU beds available.
Any questions on that? All right. Not. Poll is up. It looks like we're at 96% on hospital. That will place us in green. All right, the next piece we always look at then the overall, considering all the information, whether we place on the chart green, yellow, orange, or red. Any discussion before we take a vote on that? Okay, Latona will pull that up for today. Okay, it looks like that places us 92% in green. Okay. Next, we will take a look at the modes of learning. Looks like for green. Any discussions on that? We usually start with elementary.
I would recommend that we stay in person.
Okay. All right, if not any other discussion, she'll pull up the poll. Yeah, green for elementary is just on person, so in person. So then we'll go to middle school. Same thing in person. Is that where we're,
This is Jeff Smith in Derby North. I think we should stay in person.
okay? Any other comments? All right, she'll pull up the poll for that. Okay, she's got it pulled up. So all of it in green is in person, so we don't vote with that. So we are all solidly in person, so that will take care of it. Okay, we will move on then to, she's going to pull up the safety, security, logistics chart, and we will revisit that and see if we want to make any changes.
I would propose just to maintain for the rest of the year.
I agree, especially for masks. They need to stay on until the end of the year.
I think the group, it's important. I'm just making sure that the group feels as a whole. And when we get ready to vote, as you know, Senate Bill 40 is out there and we talk about least restrictive in all areas. It is fine to maintain if we feel that that is the least restrictive to keep kids in schools and schools safe. But I just wanted to preface that and to make sure that this group is taking that in consideration when they're making decisions. So, and being able to talk about that piece of it.
I think it's least restrictive. I've had several students in the last couple of weeks that have been exposed. One of them didn't wear his mask properly much of the time, and a lot of people around him got quarantined. The 2 or 3 that wore their mask properly, it was low risk and they weren't quarantined, which kept more kids in school. So if we have no masks or masks that aren't used by everybody, I think we'll have a lot more quarantine, which is not least restrictive. So my vote will be to keep the masks on because I feel in my heart of hearts that's least restrictive at this moment.
And Nikki pointed that out at the board meeting. She pointed out the data of the positive cases we had in the last couple of weeks and how many of those kids would have been quarantined had they not been wearing masks. I think that's the really important point here, that if we have no mask mandate, then more kids will end up being quarantined because numbers are kind of creeping up a little bit across the country. So it's no reason it wouldn't be happening here.
And I think we take advantage of that low risk quarantine piece. And I'm not willing to press our luck with that. I want kids in school. I want them safe at the same time.
Thank you. Any other comments before we vote on, right now the proposal is leaving it the same and the group would be voting to say, we feel this is the least restrictive to get through the school year safely. Okay, not any other comments. She will pull that up to leave the same. An opportunity. We have a couple more people to vote if they'd like to do so. All right, it looks like we have, of those that voted, we have 100% agreeing to keep the safety logistics chart the same. We will do that. Again, these decisions, this is the last meeting of the year, so this will run us through the end of the school year. We will be in person and follow that current safety, security, logistics plan as we continue. As we conclude today, I just want to take a moment to say, appreciate all your time this year. I know some of these meetings, when we first started, we had some lengthy meetings and taking that time out of your day, but consistently coming back throughout the year to be able to serve and provide your input, thoughts and comments has been appreciated. Do want to also point out, I know we have some physicians that have weighed in throughout this process. Thank you very much. I know your schedules are also very busy, but you've always been there to support and guide. So appreciate that. Any other comments before we conclude our final meeting? All right. If not, have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.